Every person who transformed their life goes through the same 7 stages. Not 5, not 10, 7. And most people never reach the final ones. And it's not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack opportunity, but because they quit during the most uncomfortable stage of the journey, stage 4. And the strange part of this is when people quit there, they often believe they failed. They assume they weren't disciplined enough, not strong enough, not motivated enough. But the truth is far more interesting. They didn't fail. They simply didn't realize where they were in the process. Because transformation isn't random. It follows a psychological pattern, a pattern that has repeated itself in the lives of people who reinvent themselves, build successful careers, develop powerful discipline, and become someone completely different from who they once were. The problem is that most people experience these stages blindly. They don't recognize them while they're happening. And when the difficult stages appear, when they arrive, they assume something is wrong, so they stop. But once you understand the pattern, everything changes, because you begin to recognize exactly where you are in the journey. And once you see the path clearly, you stop mistaking difficulty for failure. Today we're going to walk through the 7 stages of personal transformation. And by the end of this video, you will likely recognize exactly where you are right now. Stage 1, the fog, where most journeys begin. Every transformation begins in the fog. This is the stage where something in your life doesn't feel right. You feel stuck. You feel frustrated. You feel unfulfilled. But the problem isn't completely clear yet. And you start searching. You start watching videos, reading books, trying new routines. You change your schedule, start new habits, maybe even begin a new goal. But something keeps happening. Nothing sticks. This isn't because you lack effort. It's because the fog hasn't lifted yet. In this stage, your energy is scattered. You're moving, but you're not moving in a clear direction. Eventually, something changes. You begin seeing patterns. And that's when you enter into the 2nd stage. The mirror, where reality becomes visible. The mirror is uncomfortable because this is where the fog begins to clear. And when it does, you start noticing things about yourself that were invisible before. Patterns, habits, excuses, avoidance. You begin to realize something powerful. Your life isn't random. It's the result of repeated behaviors. The late nights, the procrastination, the inconsistent effort, the standards you've been tolerating. This stage requires honesty, because once you see the truth in the mirror, you can't pretend you didn't see it. And once that realization happens, transformation becomes possible. But the next stage is where things get difficult. Stage 3, the rope, where the old identity fights back. Now you begin trying to change. You set new standards, new routines, new expectations for yourself. At first, the momentum, it feels powerful, but then something unexpected appears. It's resistance. Progress feels heavier than expected. Old habits start pulling you back. Comfort begins tempting again. You feel the urge to return to the patterns you used to follow. This is the rope, the invisible attachment to your old identity. It doesn't disappear just because you decided to change. It pulls quietly, consistently. Most people believe this resistance means something is wrong, but it actually means transformation is beginning. The bridge, stage 4, where most people quit. This is the most fragile stage of the entire journey. The bridge. Behind you is the person you used to be. Ahead of you is the person you want to become. But the middle is unstable. Old habits are weakening. New habits don't feel natural yet. Nothing feels comfortable. Nothing feels certain. Execution requires effort. Doubt becomes louder. Progress feels slower than expected. And this is where most people turn around. Not because they are incapable, because uncertainty feels dangerous. The familiar identity behind them begins to feel safer than the unknown identity ahead. So they step off the bridge and return to the life they were trying to leave. Stage 5, we have the forge, where real change happens. But the people who keep walking, they eventually reach the forge. And this stage is intense. It's where discipline becomes non-negotiable. You begin repeating behaviors daily. Not when you feel motivated. Not when it feels convenient. Every day. This repetition begins shaping identity. Just like steel becomes stronger when exposed to heat and pressure. Character becomes stronger through disciplined repetition. The forge is not comfortable, but it produces strength. Stage 6, the anchor, where identity stabilizes. After enough time in the forge, something remarkable happens. The behaviors that once felt forced now feel normal. Execution becomes automatic. Skipping your standards begins to feel uncomfortable. This is where the anchor drops. Your new identity stabilizes. You no longer try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. And that stability creates momentum. Stage 7, the mountain, where growth never ends. Now the real climb begins. The mountain represents mastery. And at this stage, you're no longer fighting yourself. You're expanding your capability. Your discipline is stable. Your standards are clear. Your identity is strong. So now, the focus shifts from change to growth. There's always another level, another challenge, another opportunity to climb higher. But the person climbing the mountain is not the same person who once stood in the fog. Right now, you're somewhere inside this journey. Maybe you're still in the fog. Maybe you've just looked into the mirror. Maybe you're fighting the rope. Or maybe you're standing halfway across the bridge, wondering if you should turn around. But now you know something most people never learn. The struggle isn't random. It's part of the process. And once you recognize the stage you're in, you stop mistaking difficulty for failure. You keep walking, and eventually you reach the forge. Then the anchor, then the mountain. This is Results.